Hey, it's been a while, but I'm back with some pretty cool developments. If you've seen the first devlog for this game, then you can already see in the video that things have drastically improved from before. I'll talk about that stuff soon, but first, something about the story. I won't be talking about it today, but I predict that the next episode in the series will deal with it. Anyway, back to the changes. You can see the sprite changes, so I won't talk about that, but I will mention that the tile set is inspired by Scourgebringer. Next, I've added a neat parallax effect in front and behind the character to just add a sense of depth to the game. I think it looks great, honestly. Another thing you might notice is that I actually worked around with some post-processing and added bloom, making the character really stand out as well as bring some life to the game. The last thing to touch on here is obviously the fog, which gives the area a really nice mystic cave feel, I guess, and it looks very neat when everything is put together. The fog is actually from a Unity asset that I purchased a long time ago, but it saves some time for now, and it looks like it really fits in. I will leave the link for the asset in the description. If you didn't see the last video, the signature ability of this game is that right now the main character can morph into a bird. This jumping section right here, also in the last episode, and it can be completed very fast with the bird, and it basically skips a lot of the jumps. Up here, I've set up a dummy NPC to hold a dialogue. I've been working on a dialogue system for the past couple of days, but it is still very early. Something to mention about it though. The thing that took the most time was actually learning Ink, and learning how to implement it. Ink is a software that you can use to write dialogue, which can actually be very versatile. It took me a while to learn how to use all the notations though, so I guess there's that. Regardless, pulling lines from actual text documents is miles better than typing them into the inspector. This is for a few reasons. Well, the thing about Ink is, it can hold variables, and Unity can actually read those. I don't think I've ever had such an easy time of recording if a conversation has been completed, or if a choice was selected. The second part is, since Ink creates a JSON document, I don't have to type the lines into the inspector, so translation becomes a piece of cake. I just need to change the JSON file that the dialog trigger holds. That leads me to the dialog trigger I've created. It's simple, it just checks if you're close enough, and if you are, it passes the JSON file into the dialog manager. I've added some customization in the sense that I can choose whether this conversation can be repeatable, spoken once, or lead to an event. I call them info, conv, and event. Info will be used for when you inspect an object in-game, conv will lead to a conversation, and event leads to a cutscene. Kind of like in real life, you can always look at an object again, but conversation and events are usually non-repeatable. Other than that, there is an issue I've been avoiding. It's about the character's ability. Since the main character can fly, it is extremely easy to get out of bounds. Every area would have to be closed off like a cave, which has been done before in platformers, but I'd rather not do that. The first thing that comes to my mind, of course, is adding a limit to how long you can fly. I don't really like that though, because I'd rather not force the player to use the bird in a certain way. For example, if a group of players find that the bird is better used as a safety blanket, I don't want to restrict that. And if another group thinks that the bird is a speedrunning tool, I don't want to promote that. While I personally think the bird should be used to clear sections faster, so basically as a speedrunning tool, I too am a player at the end of the day. I want the players to do what they think is right with the tools given to them. So I'm kind of at a crossroads, because I honestly don't know what to do. If you have any idea, I would love to hear it. It would help out a ton. One more thing though, although I don't want to add a limit to how long you can stay in the bird form, I do want to add a cooldown to the transformation to prevent stuff like this. But for now, I've said all that I had to say, so I guess I'll see you later.